relationship issues?
Relationship Talk
On 702.
So today we are, as we always do, around this time on a Friday, no kids are allowed because this is an adult conversation. Today we're talking about something called swinging. Swinging 101 and deciding whether it is right for you. What are the things that you should consider? How has it helped couples? Can it even help couples? Can it help you? Has it helped you? Swinging is essentially having sex with other people with your partner's consent. People do it to spice up their love lives. There are couples who do it because they feel like things have been a bit boring in the relationship and they're trying to add some spice, right? And there are different types of swinging you can do. You have a soft swing where you can perform sexual acts in front of another couple, or you can have a full swing where you can swap partners, but it's not like polygamy because you are not having relationships with these people. Have you tried it? Is it something you'd be interested in or not? And how do you start it if you're considering it? Right? How do you get your partner to even consider that? You know, it's like ethical non-monogamy, except that you're not having a romantic relationship. It's only sexual encounters, and oftentimes your partner is there. I mean, we're living now in times when people are no longer afraid of going after what makes them happy, right? Gone are those days when certain choices, especially when it comes to sexual preferences, would be seen or labeled as taboo. And this, at some point, was definitely taboo, but things have changed. There are people who are starting to embrace these new creative ways to add spice in your relationships. So have you ever considered participating in swinging? Did you even know about it? Do you personally know of a couple that is engaging in this type of relationship? And if you've tried it, how has it helped you, if at all? 011-883-0702 is the number to dial. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Casey Blake is a sexologist and a registered counsellor who's going to guide us through this conversation. How are you doing, Casey? Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. So lovely to speak to you again.
Lovely to chat to you. So let's start with defining what swinging is. How would you best describe it?
All right. So I would just make a slight correction to what you said just now. Ethical non-monogamy is the umbrella term where people have different ways to engage in non-monogamy consensually with their partner's knowledge and consent.
Yeah.
So swinging is one of the ways. So swinging is where there's a focus on sexual non-monogamy. Often the couples who engage in swinging are romantically and emotionally monogamous with each other. They're not looking for more relationships, as you accurately said, but they're sexually non-monogamous. And then under that umbrella, we've also got polyamory and relationship anarchy and all the other ways that people can do things without the element of deceit and secrecy.
Okay. So with swinging then, this is when you are monogamous with your partner emotionally, but sexually, there's room for you as a couple to explore outside sexually, but that must be with the consent of you, like either of you in that relationship or in that marriage.
Yes. So lots of people do swinging differently. So also, I just want to say that's the most common definition of swinging. Every swinger has their own definition of swinging. And it feels like that's an important disclaimer to make because every swinger does it differently depending on how that person or couple's boundaries are set up, their relationship agreement is made up. So there are... My brain just had a blank because I can see myself instead of you on the Zoom, and it's very distracting.
Okay, let me do this. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to let me switch on my Zoom here. Let me switch on because I should have done that actually.
Please.
I'm gonna switch on my Zoom.
Then I can
here.
watch you while I'm speaking,
and then you can
not
look at me as I'm speaking. It will be sorted in a moment. What type of a person though, or couples would be interested in a swinging relationship? Like, I mean, I can imagine there are people out there listening to us and saying, but if I am married to this person, if I'm in a relationship with Clement and I'm happy, why would I want to participate in something that brings in other people into our sexual relationship?
Oh, there are so many reasons why people look into non-monogamy, consensual non-monogamy. One of the things is important to point out that monogamy is an option, but we grow up thinking that monogamy is compulsory. So there's a lot of societal framing that makes non-monogamy, and I'm going to keep saying consensual non-monogamy because we know that cheating and non-consensual non-monogamy is a much more common phenomenon.
Yeah.
So I keep coming back to consensual non-monogamy when your partner knows or is involved with the other people that you're bringing in.
Okay.
So some people, like you said, they do it because it can spice up their sex life. I do want to say that if couples are wanting to use non-monogamy as a way to fix any kinds of relationship instability, it is a fantastic way to highlight the cracks and difficulties in your relationship and increase insecurities. So couples who swing don't do it to fix the relationship. They do it because they've got the safety of a committed, loving relationship where there's stability, and they get to explore different fantasies together without having to sneak around. There's a lot of excitement for swingers in knowing that this adventure is going to happen. Lots of swingers have fantastic build-up and post-hoc sex. Fantastic, often better than the encounter itself. Because it's the idea of what they're going to be doing together and what they're going to be watching. It's the idea of getting pleasure from watching your partner be pleasured and give pleasure.
I see. So, okay. So, and I love the distinction you've just made there, that actually the healthier way to do it is if this is something you guys are interested in, you want to explore together, and you want to spice things up, but not necessarily because you're trying to fix something, right? Or because there's like maybe an issue we haven't had sex in 6 months or in a year, and we think, oh, then bringing in other people somehow is going to resolve whatever issues that we've been dealing with. So you've mentioned that there are different types of swingers. So is it fair then to say that swinging in this sense is whatever sexual activity that's going to happen outside of this marriage or couple, that both these two people in a relationship have to be there? So, you know, as Casey, you can't just say, hey, my husband or wife, I'll see you tomorrow because tonight I'm going to have some fun with somebody else, and you've consented to that. So what, your partner would have to be there?
I mean, that is one way.
Okay.
That some people swing. So there's separate swinging. So let's go with some of the stuff you mentioned. We've got the soft swap. That's often where the two couples, and it's often two couples. So let's go, before I even go there, the history of swinging comes from the idea of wife swapping or partner swapping. And it is very difficult to find an actual historic, like this is accurate, fact-checked history. But for as long as I've known about swinging, which is more than a decade and a half, it has always been its predecessor was wife swapping and a hot wife fantasy. It's a porn category, hot wife. So it's often threesomes and stuff and foursomes. So it'll be two couples who want to explore, but they do not want any penetration happening between the couples. So couple one and couple two will only penetrate themselves, but they won't be penetrating the other couple's partners. But what the other partners can do will be any kinds of other sex. It may be kissing is allowed, hand stimulation, oral stimulation, massage, lots of different ways to stimulate each other without penetration happening. So that's the common idea behind a soft swap or a soft swing. Okay.
And then full swing?
Yeah. So full swing is where people they still have their rules. I feel like it's really, really important to say there are still going to be rules and boundaries. There's going to be a lot of conversations about what can be done before you enter into a full swap. But a full swap would be when penetration of all of both partners by other partners is allowed.
Okay.
If it's two heterosexual couples, then both men have permission and consent to penetrate both women.
Yeah. What are the risks that are associated with that, Casey? I mean, I would imagine if you are taking your partner and you guys are meeting this couple and you're going to have all fun, the four of you, I mean, isn't there a risk there of your partner maybe getting fully attracted and getting too emotionally attracted with someone? Now, when you get back home, your partner is thinking about an amazing experience last night that they had with this person's partner, and that could run the risk of them being tempted to even pick up the phone one day when I'm out of town and say, hey, let's hook up the two of us. They don't have to know about it.
So a foundation of swinging is trust. So yes, this is absolutely a thing that is a risk. And I think that's why communication, swinging couples talk about sex with other people at least 100 times more than they have sex with other people, because they're going to have these conversations to check in on their own insecurities, their own comfort levels on a theoretical basis before they even engage in a meeting with another couple. So a lot of people do meet and greets. They will go meet for coffee or dinner or lunch, see if there's enough mutual attraction between the four people. What makes swinging one of the obstacles is there's no guarantee that all four people are going to find another person attractive in that grouping. So they're going to have enough attraction for there to be for people to want to have the sexual engagement with the other people. But the risk that you mentioned about, this huge attraction is important. And I think that's part of the conversations. Why are you in this relationship? Why are you married? Why are you in this relationship? And why are you looking for this kind of adventure? Because being sexually attracted to someone does not guarantee that you're going to do anything about it in the future. Of course, people who are deceitful will be deceitful, whether or not, if you're trying to do swinging to avoid affairs, I'm sorry, but only the person who is doing it honestly is going to be the one continuing to do so. Affairs and infidelity have their own, excitement and risk profile attached. This is not a way to prevent it necessarily. This is a way for you to get the adventure and fun and to be able to talk about it before and after. I think that's what we forget, is the build-up is so exciting. So many people talk about the best sex they have is before the encounter, for the weeks that they're planning this, because remember, people have kids, they have lives, they've got family members, they have to navigate what weekend or what evening does everybody's schedule align when there's childcare arranged, if your kids are still young enough to need childcare. All these things have to fall into place. So it takes weeks of scheduling. So there's lots of build-up. And then the excitement afterwards, talking about what was fun, what was disappointing. How are your partners good at really, you didn't realize how good your partner was at certain things until you've had other people try it. Wow, there's something that my partner can learn about this one thing that I didn't even know. I learned some skills I didn't know. All these kinds of conversations can happen. But as you can hear, they require a lot of security
and a lot of
trust.
maturity, Casey, because can you imagine your partner telling you that, I want you to do what that person did when we did our swinging thing a weekend ago? I mean, I can imagine how that poor person is going to feel. You probably feel like, oh, well, have I been failing you sexually?
So let me reframe that question situation. It's often more like, what did you enjoy about what that person did to you? Is there anything I can do that's the same, that's different? What did they do differently? Where can I upskill? Much more than that person did Lucinda so much better than you. It's much more of remember, it's about the excitement of watching each other get pleasured.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not about how you're going to get better sex with other people. It's about other people do things differently. What can we learn?
Yeah. Yes, for both of us to enjoy this. Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Got it. It's 23 minutes now after 11 o'clock. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take your calls on 011-883 0702. What do you understand about swinging? Is it something you've tried? Is it something you're interested in exploring? What worries you about it? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? Please share your experiences with us. You can send a WhatsApp voice note as well on 072 702 1702.
Relationship issues
Relationship Talk.
on 702.
26 minutes after 11 o'clock. Your calls on 011-883-0702. WhatsApps on 072 702 1702. Let's start with Miss V, who's calling us from Sandton as we continue this conversation about swinging. Miss V, good morning.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
So, what do you understand about swinging? Do you want to share an experience with us?
So I have a club in Wynberg, Sandton. It's called Fetish Haven, South Africa.
Okay.
We are a kink club, a fetish club, so we specialize in all the kinks, BDSM, swinging, everything. And I love the conversation that you're having because swinging is a great way to enhance your relationship. If it's built on a solid foundation, as the young lady was saying, instead of fixing it. If you want to fix it, it's not going to work.
Ah, okay. So in a swingers club then, what normally happens? Is it...
So we have parties every day,
Okay.
literally, but mostly weekends. And our the parties are, first of all, you in an environment where you can mingle and connect with like-minded individuals.
Okay.
There's no pressure to play or to interact. You don't have to. You can build friendships. You can build connections. You can come to dance. It's not just about, I'm there to get it on or whatever. But a lot of couples use it as a platform to connect with other couples and experience what the lifestyle is about and how to go about it. And it usually does. It's not just on the first night you get there and everything happens or whatever. It's also a great way if you're an introvert or something like that, or someone that doesn't dress sexy or whatever, to get you out of your comfort zone. To just be in an environment where there's no judgment, there's no people looking at you and saying, "Oh, you're too fat, too skinny, too this, to that." It's usually, So
do people dress up when they come to?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah.
And I'm the only literally multiracial club. So we have all shapes and sizes. It's not just about the sexy people and vote Derek number 10. It's all shapes and sizes. So
Okay. So it's like a fetish club as well.
it's a fetish club. It is about swinging is a fetish.
Yeah.
BDSM, kink, anything
Yeah.
is a fetish. It's something you enjoy and something you like doing.
Okay.
So that is what it is.
Oh, that's fascinating. Miss V in Sandton, thank you for sharing that. I honestly didn't even know about swingers clubs, or that there's something like that. In fact, there's a voice note as well that somehow speaks to a similar thing.
Clement, the first time I heard about a swing was from my white colleagues and white customers when they were talking about a swing club that I've been to recently and talking about advising each other which swing club has more members, more couples to experiment with and so on. I don't think any black person there's any black person who does a swing club. I don't know. But, with us black people, we don't really need to do a swing club because I can just go partying and then I'll get somebody to experiment with instead of literally taking my partner with to do a swing. That wouldn't do it.
Well, you would be surprised. And Miss V says it's a multiracial swingers club. So, yeah. You'd be surprised. And maybe let me also ask and I know some people are shy, but maybe just call us anonymously or send us a message as a black person out there if you want to weigh in and share your experience with us. Casey, before we go to the headlines, you want to respond to what Ms. V said or what this voice note said?
Oh, just to the voice noter, that what you describe is not swinging because the whole point of swinging is to be able to share the experience, if not at the same time, because some people go and meet with other people and then their partners find out the entire story later. Like, there's an entire unpacking of what happened and what did you like and what didn't you like. If you're doing it just going out and having fun, without your partner, you're not swinging. You're just
except she did say that
non-consensual monogamy.
she did say that some people come with their partners. So there are couples who come to the swingers club.
So that's with Miss V.
Yes,
I'm
Miss
talking
V.
about the voice note.
The other
who
voice
was like,
note.
I can just do this thing without it.
Yeah.
So the thing about the swinging scene is there are many clubs, but not all of them are inclusive. So Miss V's club is one of the multiracial clubs where you can go and have all kinds of fantasies played out without people being excluded based on race.
I got it. Okay, it's 11:31.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
23 minutes before 12 o'clock. Yes, guys. Miss V's club is called Fetish Haven, South Africa. You won't believe how many people are asking about it. So a lot of us always want to be like, oh, I'm reserved. I'm surprised they're even talking about this, but then, you want to check out the Swingers Club. So we got a call from Ms. V earlier on, who runs the Swingers Club. And my goodness, a lot of people are calling to find out where it is. So maybe just Google it. Fetish Haven, South Africa. That's what Ms. V said when she called a little earlier on. We're talking about swinging this morning, just 101. How does it help you as a couple? You don't do it because you're trying to fix what's broken. You do it because maybe that's something you want to experience with your partner. You want to have some fun. You want to spice up things in your intimate life. And Casey Blake, who's a sexologist and registered counsellor, has been guiding us through this conversation. And I want to go to some of the questions coming through on the WhatsApp line. Casey Anonymous says, Clement, please can you ask Casey, what's the difference between an open relationship and swinging? Because I seem to be confusing the two.
Such a good question, but I don't have a clear definition because, like I said, all swingers have their own ways of swinging, and most open relationships have their own way of being open. There's no one way to be consensually non-monogamous. So an open relationship is very similar to swinging, according to my understanding and the conversations I've had with people who are in open relationships, where they're not necessarily involved with the sex that their partners are having. Their partners have the freedom and permission. Permission sounds like such a possession type word, but they've got the freedom, the consent to be able to have sex with other people without necessarily having their partner involved, but their partner knows it's happening. It's not behind their partner's back. With swinging, your partner is either very much involved in the interaction, they're in the room, they're watching, they're participating, or they know about it and you guys are going to have phenomenal sex when you have a post-mortem later.
Okay, got it. And then another one says, hi, Clement. Honestly, we all know it's not really consensual because one person is just so desperate to keep their partner, so they end up saying it's okay to do the swinging thing, but it's not okay. It just hurts so bad that you're not good enough. So how do couples handle this then, Casey? Because there are some couples, maybe your partner then tells you that, hey, let's try this thing, and you end up feeling like, I'm not enough, clearly. Maybe I'm not satisfying you sexually.
So important.
Maybe you can advise some couples on how do they have a conversation like this, whether you're the one asking and introducing the topic or you're on the other side.
So there's often a phrase that gets thrown around in the swinging lifestyle called taking one for the team. And it's never a good idea to take one for the team because you're not getting your needs met. And that's why I say if you're going into the swinging space because you feel like it's the only way to keep your partner, that's a crack in your relationship. It is not a solid foundation. Lol. Dyslexic becoming verbal. It's not a solid foundation. That's a big crack. The insecurities that you don't have the freedom in your relationship to talk about when things are not consensual, they're coercive. So let's just take a step back and talk about what does consent mean. Consent means that the thing that's going to happen, everybody agrees to it happening. Everybody wants it to happen, and nothing bad will happen if nothing happens. So the consequence of this example of if you don't go swinging, you're going to lose your partner. That's a something. That's not a nothing. That's coercion.
Yeah.
If you can't say no, that's not consensual.
Yeah. And what if you can't even have the conversation because you know it's going to go the other way?
Well, then we know we know the answer. Maybe your partner doesn't realize it, but you know this is not consensual. You know this isn't actually swinging. Mm-hmm. This is you taking one for the team and trying to watch the cracks that open up because your insecurity is going to get worse because there's no space to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
True. And then here's an interesting message from Tammy from Mayerdale. Says, "Hi Clement, what an interesting topic as always on your show. Swinging would be difficult for me. Listening to your guest there, it would really hurt me if my partner would tell me how good the other person is. This is not me at all." So how do you manage that feedback then, Casey? So when you have already had an experience like that, as a couple with another couple, for instance, let's say that was the arrangement and you really had fun, how limited should you be in how you express your feelings about that experience? Because, I mean, I can only imagine your partner going on and on about how amazing that other person was during that experience. So what's the best way to really give feedback around the experience without making your partner feel like, you're enjoying that more than what I normally have with you?
I have got so many layers in which to answer this. So the first level is I wouldn't recommend swinging in the first place because that builds up that conversation about what are we going to experience, like what do we expect, what do we think will be fun, what do we think we're going to have difficulty with. Those are the conversations you have before you even go to the club or find people on the site. Your first discussion is, do I think I can handle this? What are my insecurities? Many couples who swing theoretically swing for years before they take the plunge because they want to make sure that they know what the consequences might be before they go in so that they can make an informed decision about whether or not those consequences are worth it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for Tommy, I wouldn't recommend group sex with his partner because that's effectively what swinging is, because he doesn't want to know what's good for his partner. I assume it's a him. He doesn't want to know what's good for his partner that isn't good with him. Then it's not a good match. It's not a good fit. And it's so good that you know that, Tommy. It is so important that you know that about yourself and you don't put yourself in situations that are going to make you feel like shit.
Oopsie. We can't
Sorry.
say that word on the radio. Apologies there. Here's a WhatsApp voice note that's come through on 072-702-1702.
Hi Clement. You're speaking to Swissa here from Kimpton Park. Yeah. Me and my partner, we used to do for some with a married couple. Yeah, we always do. We always do when we feel like, now the fire is down. We call couples and then we do for some. It's a nice experience. We exchange there inside. We exchange. It's very nice.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that with us. Another one says, Anonymous says, Clement, I got into swinging with my eyes closed, but now my eyes are open. I only do it when I want to. Because if you're not aware, you could end up being used. My partner says that I will lose him if I don't agree to swing. And to your point, Casey, the minute that is the kind of condition that is on the table, then you've got to be worried. Hey, Casey?
I'm worried about your relationship.
Yeah.
If I'm worried about the health of your relationship, what's keeping you in there other than threats? Why are you staying? What do you get? And I know this is a really simplistic question for a really complicated situation, but when we feel like we're coerced and we have no options, I really want you to think about what is the health of your relationship and are you happy?
Yeah. That's very important, eh? 'Cause it does sound worrying that your partner says, if you're not going to come and do this with me, then you're going to lose me. Where is the consideration for what you want, what you don't like? Anonymous also on the WhatsApp line says, hello, Clement and Casey. To respond to the guy who spoke about black people not knowing much about swinging, he's wrong. Many people, especially educated blacks, do swinging at least once a month. Even in the townships, it happens in couples' houses. It doesn't have to be a club. That's a message there from Anonymous. And then there was a question also earlier on, Casey, about what the tips are for beginners. So for people who are listening to us and who are thinking, yeah, we want to spice things up. We've been sort of thinking about this, but we didn't know where to begin. What tips can you give the people who are interested to try this out and this is a new experience for them?
So I think a big part is have your conversations about your fantasies. What are the fantasies? Do you even know what the fantasy is? So for a lot of people, it's threesomes. For a lot of people, it's foursomes. How do you play it out in your fantasies, and how do you feel listening to your partner's fantasies? Can you have the conversation about how it feels telling your partner about the fantasy of having someone who's different to them, who has different skills? Or often in the threesome context or foursome group sex situation where it's not just a neat couple swapping, but all four people are interacting in some kinds of ways, maybe even in a heterosexual situation, like what is that experience? What's it like having different bodies in the room, extra parts in the room? And what are those conversations like? Once you've had all those conversations and you've navigated your insecurities about how sex with one person one time or multiple people multiple times is going to threaten your relationship or not, because those are really important conversations to have before you make the move. Find communities online. There are websites online. I'm not 100% sure which sites people are using at the moment, but look into Swinging South Africa. Put Google Swinging South Africa and see what sites come up. You can create a profile, meet other people virtually, meet them publicly in a meet and greet setting where your clothes are all on at a restaurant where you've got drinks or milkshakes, and see if you're even interested in doing more from there. Take it slow. You never have to rush these things. Rather regret the things you don't do.
Yeah, got
and
it.
See if there's a second chance.
Okay, it's going up to 10 minutes now before 12 o'clock. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, more of your calls and WhatsApps. If you've got a question, if you want to share an experience, if there's something that's still confusing you, give us a call or send a WhatsApp voice note.
Relationship issues
Relationship talk.
on 702.
8 minutes before 12 o'clock, we're wrapping up our conversation with Casey Blake, who is a sexologist and a registered counselor. We have been discussing Swinging 101. It's adult radio this morning on the show. We have been looking at what the benefits of swinging have been. Has it worked for you? Has it not worked for you? There are some couples that have shared their experiences and they've described how this has been of interest to them and how they've gone about it. If you have tried it, you want to share your experience with us, you're welcome to do so. Casey, you've already given us the tips around, especially for new beginners, people who are interested in trying this thing out. There is someone though who wanted to know about the negative impact of swinging, who says we also need to address, from maybe even your observation, Casey, and your experience, have you seen swinging really end up in lots of trouble for a couple? So what are the other risks you can warn our listeners about when it comes to this phenomena?
So we've already been discussing the issue of coercion, and I've been reiterating that swinging can only be a successful adventure if the foundation of the relationship is strong, and you're doing it so that you can have a shared adventure, you can have a shared fantasy play out, you can watch each other, get pleasure, give pleasure, because that's your desire. I want to also point out that please, guys and people, Swinging needs to be consensual. And if you are having loads of alcohol before you engage in the act, my question is, are you doing it consensually? If you need the alcohol to get the courage, why can't you do it sober? My question is, how much consent is happening for everyone involved if you can't do it sober? There's one thing about taking the edge off. There's another thing about drinking to the point to get courage. I have seen, and people speak about it, you think you've had all the conversations, but you've been scared to mention things, and then your experience happens, and you realize you actually can't handle it. You can't handle the feedback. You can't handle watching your partner get in the throes of orgasm that you're not providing. You can't handle watching your partner give someone pleasure. And it's really important that you've discussed safe words before that you even get in a situation, because if that happens, there is absolutely no shame in going, Red, I can't do this. My safe word, I thought I could. I'm really sorry, everyone. I don't want to be the party killer, but it's over. Because the thing about not wanting to spoil the mood is it's already spoiled because you're not in the mood.
Yeah. And
it's best if everyone knows that.
Yeah. What about boundaries? How important is it to set boundaries going into that experience? So, because some people will argue, but isn't that like ruining the mood when you're structuring things? Let's just get into this thing and just see where it leads. What advice do you have on that?
Boundaries keep us safe. If we know that we've agreed that there will be no kissing, we don't have to worry about kissing happening when people start doing things, because remember that it comes down to trust. We put our boundaries on the table. This is where we're comfortable. This is what we don't want to happen. And we're going to trust, just like you're going to trust, that everyone's going to follow the boundaries agreed upon. So some people love swinging, but they don't want kissing. That's for their relationship only. And that keeps everybody safe. If the other couple really want kissing, then you're not a good fit. You're not going to have a good time together because you don't want something that's vital for them. Move on.
Yeah. Well, Casey Blake, thank you so much for really an enlightening conversation. We've learned a lot about this concept of swinging. So I really appreciate you making time for us. Casey Blake is a sexologist and a registered counselor. It's going up to 3 minutes now before 12.